Welcome to Unshut, where nothing is off the table, keeping quiet and holding back is no longer an option. I am your host, Mo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to episode 2. If you are joining me from the very first episode, you are brave. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for not letting my voice make you want to jump off a bridge and never tune in again. The following episode is going to have some thoughts based on my experience in regards to the Christian community, specifically the Latin Christian community. In no shape or form do I want to categorize Christianity on just my experience alone. But before we continue, I want to share this note from over a year ago. I wrote it on August 23rd, 2022 to be exact. If Hollywood means people living their best potential, and that means living in this financial freedom world, the world seeing Hollywood as evil means living in envy. It is constantly preached that if you do not make it into heaven, you go to hell. And hell is described as a dark, scary, exhausting place. But what are the conditions most people are living in today? They are exhausted, working 9-to-5 jobs that don't give them financial freedom, and yet they have the time to pass judgment to this industry and call it hell. I'm really excited about this next episode because it's definitely shining a different light on a topic that we've all heard. I definitely want to talk about Hollywood and focus on a different angle for a change, because I'm sure we have all heard the same bullshit story about the Illuminati, about Hollywood. And I think it's time that we start to look at things just a little bit different. If you met me after high school, when you would hear a little bit about my past and where I've lived and what I've done, especially when I got into the choreography industry, it was so easy to assume Hollywood, choreography, he travels, he makes good money. It was easy. To this day really pisses me off because so many people associate having money and creating wealth to something so negative. My experience with Hollywood is just slightly different because of who my mom worked for when I was younger. She worked with people in the industry such as Wendy Finerman, Pia Sedora and her mom, Barry Cross, but the most influential one in my life to this day was Liza Minnelli. The way she treated my mom is the reason why I treat the people that work for me the way I do. Yes, I am your employer, but I am still an equal to you and I'm going to treat you such as. So that has always been one of the greatest impacts I had. Even though my mom had some pretty negative experiences with people in the industry, with people with money, I choose to hold on to the good ones. And looking back at her experiences, and even now when we talk about them, all the good experiences just outweigh the negative ones. It's always funny when people ask, what is with the influence of Liza Minnelli? For example, the podcast room, I have some art pieces and some stuff from her that I keep. And yes, of course, I'm a super fan. I love her. But truly my favorite childhood memories are with her. So now that you know a little bit more about my experience with Hollywood, you'll also see that my experience with Christianity has also influenced this perspective, and it's not a personal attack on Christians or Christianity at all. My first initial take on that theory, sometimes it does make me really sad to think that so many people out there have this idea that people that are in this industry are completely soulless. Let's just take a moment to think about how dark and negative that idea is. This idea that in order to achieve a certain level of success, exposure, fortune, you have to sell your soul to the devil or sacrifice a loved one or give up your peace, and something just so evil. Something about that theory has just never sit right with me. And for any of those that are listening who are going to be really sensitive to this topic, I hate to break it to you, but there is dark bullshit in every industry, every race, every culture, every religion. There is good and bad in absolutely everything. So don't take this up the ass. It's not meant to be that. It's, again, we're on this journey of choosing a different path away from negativity and shining a positive light on a topic that's just very heavy in the media. This agenda that keeps getting pushed on TikTok, YouTube, on so many different platforms when it comes to the Illuminati. Oh, there's another ritual. It actually pisses me off now whenever I hear or come across those videos. Find something fucking new. Give up this bullshit idea that anyone who is reaching this level of fame and success is associated with Hollywood and what you negatively think about it. Something that has always been a trigger for me when it comes to this topic is the Christians in my life that push this bullshit agenda, who believe in it so heavily. These are the people who also believe in paying their way to heaven by giving their little money, their offerings, to this church. They make the church rich with the idea that they're paying their way to heaven, even though they don't like to call it that. And yet, whenever they are in need of anything, the church only offers them prayer. And there are a lot of things I tolerate, but this idea is just not one of them, okay? I cannot support this idea that I'm going to go to church every Sunday, give the money that I have to this church for them to profit 100% of it, and when I am in need of help, you'll offer me prayer. Doesn't fucking make sense. So you can say that there is so much more to life than fame and success and money, right? Yes, I do believe in the power of prayer. Yes, I do believe in the power of manifestation. I also believe that, yes, doing good feels good. But someone explain to me, what is the purpose of giving your all to this building, to this church, to this God, while you live on earth completely slaving away and getting nothing for it? And the reason I say that is because in my experience, so many people that are poor, that are financially not good, still find a way to give to this church. And yet they have this idea that the people out there that make really good money, that have a great living, have given up their faith to be able to do that. It's just wild to me. And I still to this day have a lot of relatives who live not a very financial freedom life, but they are so dedicated to their church and to give them money at Sunday service, but yet they're struggling to pay their bills, to pay their rent. They don't have the money to go out and do the things that they want to splurge on. It's just a concept to me that I feel it's robbing these vulnerable people that are poor and convincing them to just give. That has left such a bad taste in my mouth ever since I was a kid. This is not something that I am just creating today. This is truly something that has been on my mind since I was little. I never understood it. I never understood that concept. They preach about how hell will be miserable, full of misery, full of torture, full of being restless, full of all these negative, scary things, right? Specifically fear. But what they don't realize is, isn't that what you're doing? Constantly living in this hell that you so describe, and you're judging other people for saying, you know what? I've always wanted to use my singing voice as an instrument to perform in front of people. And the first thing we think is, oh, wow, you're going to go become a singer. And then when you make it, wow, you sold your soul to the devil. Like, what? That, again, help me understand that concept. The hell that you describe is the hell you're living in on earth, and yet you're judging other people for going out and pursuing something in their artistry, in their craft, something that's not even guaranteed to ever even make them money. Look at how many artists it takes them years to even profit anything. So they're taking a risk on something. They're thinking outside of the box. They're doing something that's not normal, and we're judging them for it. It sucks. It really hits a very personal nerve for me because of my experience with Hollywood. I would hate to think that someone who was so full of love and compassion to my family when we were immigrants didn't have a soul. It just doesn't sit right with me. And just another thought, when it comes to this whole Illuminati bullshit, did we ever think that as an industry, they are just taking your ideas and playing into them? Because at the end of the day, joke's on you. They're getting media exposure from it. You're creating these theory videos while still sharing their music, while still sharing their performances, and guess who's profiting off of that? They are. Let me tell you guys something. One of my biggest talents in my entire career has always been turning a negative experience into a tool to make me money. That has never been a secret. I have always shared that all of my flops came with a bigger lesson, and I was able to take that lesson and go and profit more than I would have profited when I just had started that idea. So when it comes to, having this agenda of how negative and nasty and awful this world and industry is, enough is enough. Stop pushing this agenda while you are stuck living a life in a hell that you so describe that you believe exists. Hollywood should not be in cover of this agenda. There is good and bad in every industry, and everything in this world comes with good and bad. Hollywood is not the only industry that has stupid people doing stupid shit in it. Also, money is not the root of all evil. People can be evil. And I think the reason why I take this shit so personal is because I've seen people, as my life kept upgrading, kept getting better, there was this negative energy on their perception on how I got there and how I made money and how I came into this life that I live today. And it's really heartbreaking to think that so many people out there think that you cannot get rich or you cannot have status or that you cannot live this financial freedom life without giving up your integrity, your morals, your faith. It's so heartbreaking to me because I know the type of person I am. I am so secure in my personal relationship with God, with the universe, with good energy, with good karma. I have such a strong relationship with my family, with how I love. So this idea that I couldn't be this loving human being that I know I am without having money or without being successful, it can be really discouraging. And I can't even imagine what it feels like to some of these people that are bigger and wealthier and have more exposure than I do, and they get to listen to that shit. It sucks. You don't have to be rich or live in Hollywood to be evil. And since we're on the topic of the Illuminati and this theory of Hollywood, the topic no one wants to talk about. I know who the person is running that theory known as the Illuminati. And that is Hilary Duff, you guys. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to say it. She is the one running the industry. She's the one taking everyone's souls. The reason I know Hilary Duff is the ringleader to the Illuminati is because if you know her iconic performance choreography, and I'll post a little clip of it so you know exactly which one I'm talking about. It goes to every fucking song in this universe. So while everyone is making fun of this dance, making a mock out of this dance on TikTok, start putting that dance to every song on your playlist. The shit will fit. It will fit to every song, and that is the reason why Hilary Duff is the head of Illuminati. I hope that this has shed a different light onto these theories of the Illuminati in Hollywood. Will there ever be a push on a different agenda when it comes to Hollywood? And let's talk about it. And I also hope that you all realize we all possess a talent that we can either choose to pursue or to neglect. And the reward on pursuing it does not have to be monetized. You do not have to monetize a talent in order to pursue it. Find that fulfillment, find what your craft is, and I hope you just grab it and run with it. And if it sounds batshit crazy, fucking do it. Pursue it and take the wildest idea. Get out of this box that we have been conditioned to be in because it benefits so many people. Break out of it and go and pursue your shit. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.